Today on the Bitcoin 5, Iran breakthrough, Strive accumulation, BlackRock eyes Bitcoin renewal, Russell 2000 hits all-time high, and Bitcoin's bear market resilience reaches historic levels. Like and subscribe so you get this daily Bitcoin briefing in your feed each day. Let's go. Before the stories, the Bitcoin price check. Current price, about $62,300. Bitcoin has pulled back 19.1% over the past 4 weeks from about $77,000, marking the most significant move in recent timeframes. Despite the monthly decline, the 4-year view remains striking, up 211.8% from about $20,000 in June 2022. President Donald Trump has announced what could be the most significant development yet in ongoing U.S. Iran talks. In a post on Truth Social, Trump claimed that Iran has agreed to the highest level nuclear inspections long into the future, calling it a guarantee of what he described as nuclear honesty. Trump also stated that as part of the negotiations, he has agreed to keep the Strait of Hormuz open and avoid imposing a naval blockade, while maintaining US naval assets in the region should conditions change. Perhaps most notably, Trump says any funds or sanctions relief provided to Iran will be placed into US-controlled escrow accounts and restricted to purchases of humanitarian goods, including American-produced food supplies such as corn, wheat and soybeans. If accurate, this represents a major de-escalation in one of the world's most important geopolitical flashpoints. Why does this matter for Bitcoin? Because the Strait of Hormuz handles roughly a fifth of global oil shipments. Any threat to that route immediately raises concerns about energy prices, inflation, and global economic stability. Markets have spent weeks pricing in the possibility of escalation. A credible path toward a lasting agreement could remove a major source of geopolitical risk. For Bitcoin investors, lower geopolitical tension often creates a short-term risk-on environment for markets. But the longer-term story may be even more important. Every major geopolitical crisis reminds investors how dependent the global economy remains on strategic chokepoints, energy flows, and political agreements. Bitcoin offers an alternative system that doesn't rely on shipping lanes, central banks, or diplomatic negotiations. It simply continues to operate regardless of who is in power or what is happening in the world's hotspots. For now, markets will be watching closely to see whether these negotiations result in a formal agreement. If they do, one of the biggest geopolitical risks hanging over global markets this year may be starting to fade. Strive continues to accumulate. Strive acquired 759 Bitcoin for approximately $50 million at an average price of about $65,800 per Bitcoin. The purchase demonstrates continued institutional appetite for Bitcoin exposure despite recent price weakness. The timing, buying near local resistance levels, suggests long-term conviction rather than momentum chasing. The broader point is not the headline alone, but what it tells us about Bitcoin's place in the financial system. BlackRock eyes Bitcoin renewal. Around midterm elections, BlackRock, managing $14 trillion in assets, told clients that Bitcoin will likely see a price renewal around the U.S. midterm elections. The firm pointed to fear of money printing as the most important fundamental driver for Bitcoin's long-term trajectory. The timing matters. The broader point is not the headline alone, but what it tells us about Bitcoin's place in the financial system. Russell 2000 hits all-time high as risk appetite returns. The Russell 2000 small cap index broke above 3,000 for the first time in history, signaling a rotation from large cap tech into riskier assets. Historically, Russell 2000 strength has preceded rallies in Ethereum and altcoins, making this a key leading indicator for crypto markets. The breakout suggests investors are moving down the risk curve, typically a positive sign for Bitcoin and digital assets. Small caps tend to outperform when economic growth expectations improve and when investors believe the Fed is done tightening. Bitcoin's bear market resilience reaches historic levels. Data shows Bitcoin is performing stronger during this bear market than at any point in its history, maintaining significantly higher price levels relative to previous cycle peaks. This structural resilience suggests a maturing asset with deeper institutional support and conviction. Traditional bear markets saw Bitcoin retrace 80 to 90% from all-time highs. This cycle's relative strength, despite macroeconomic headwinds, rate hikes, and regulatory uncertainty, points to a higher baseline of durable demand. Whether the forecast proves right or not, it shows how many investors now see this pullback as consolidation rather than collapse. That's today's Bitcoin 5. Let me know your favourite story from today in the comments below, and subscribe now so tomorrow's update lands directly in your feed. I'll see you tomorrow.